Hey, welcome into the Snap, episode 218. Landon and I talking to you today about some quarterback streamers mid-season as well as trade targets. Again, we're coming back. We talked to you about Chris Godwin and a couple other people last week. We're going to revisit as your trade deadlines are probably quickly approaching. Most leagues are around week 10, week 11, but check your individual scoring settings so that you know when your trade deadline happens. There's no worse feeling than gearing up to make a trade and then realize it's already come and gone. Lando, you're not making that mistake.
What is going on, guys? I've got the trades bumping in all my leagues. And I think this is the time where there's a lot of teams that are out of it, and there's a lot of teams that are really vying for that playoff spot. So make sure to like this video, smash that subscribe button, and let me know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. We still answer every single question, even on live streams. So get us if you have trade questions, if you like our trade targets, if let me know. Doesn't matter who it is, whether it's DeAndre Swift, maybe a target involving DeAndre Swift or trades involving DeAndre Swift. Let us know in the comments and we'll get back to you to give you the best advice possible to help you win that league. Mac, I got to do it. That's my rehearsed thing every single video.
It's a shameless plug at this point. It's routine. You didn't even hear what I said. It's just I'm going to lock in and say what I got to say.
Guys, we're only 200 away from 3,000 subscribers.
100%. If you have no idea what we're talking about because you listen to us on podcast form on Wednesday morning, youtube.com/snap_fantasy, and you can catch us there in video form. Maybe you don't even know what we look like. Come by and check the boys out. I want to talk. This is a pivotal moment in the season. We can win weeks by making trades, by, employing tactics and making the right streams. Shout out to a good buddy of mine, Gligs. He was like, hey, dude, no idea who to start this week. My quarterback's on bye. I believe he has Josh Allen. No, had Russell Wilson out. Needed somebody to fill in. And it was like, he's like, I got Matt Ryan. Here are the guys on bye. I'm like, why don't you pick up Daniel Jones, man? Daniel Jones is going to be, I think, decent. I think he'll at least have some mobility, get it done on the ground. He sends me this message back, which is hilarious. He's like, yo, where do I put my review? The guys from the Snap are the most knowledgeable in the field. I wanted to pick up crummy old Matt Ryan for my crummy old duster starter, Russell Wilson. And after discussing with Mac, he insisted Daniel Jones was the way to go. And he proceeded to put up 31. Chicka, yeah. Fake ID. McLovin.
Love that.
I love, mostly when we hear back from people, it's like, hey, you gave me the wrong advice. How dare you? So these little bright spots in the day are nice.
Yeah. We've had some good advice. Welcome into the stream, everyone. We got Bobby in here. Welcome in, Bobby. Jason, Nick, Griff, our boy Griff, Chris Timmons. Thanks for everyone coming in. We appreciate y'all. It's going to be a good stream. Should be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But I do love to hear those great reviews. So hopefully we get that going again.
Absolutely, yeah. It's been a really weird start to the year. Upsets left, right, and center. You got the Seattle Seahawks leading a division with the Los Angeles Rams and the Arizona Cardinals, and you're just sitting here shaking your head like, what is happening? You got the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles, once the laughingstock of the NFC, now leading the charge. It's just all over the place, and you factor in injuries to young rookie talents like Javonte Williams, Breece Hall, who's next? Cam Akers is out pending a trade. Like we don't really know what's going on. It's a really interesting landscape. I did want to, as we're going to detail some people that you should buy or sell tonight, I want to go over quickly the wide receiver finishes through 7 weeks in a half PPR league. Goes without saying, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson round out the top 5. Yeah. Then you've got Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, Marquise Brown, Rip, Mike Williams, Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, and Amari Cooper rounding out the top 12. There's a player at wide receiver 13 And if you know the answer, put him in the chat. Don't cheat. He currently sits ahead of Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Chris Olave, Tyler Lockett, Juju Smith-Schuster, who have all been pretty decent. Do you know off the top of your head who that player is?
I think you mentioned Christian Kirk. Is it like someone like Tyler Boyd that's had a couple really big games consecutively? Is it someone like that?
It is Tyler Boyd.
It is Tyler Boyd.
It is Tyler Boyd. And when I was going to give you a clue as to, hey, this guy who sits at wide receiver 13 is also a Cincinnati Bengal, and you would immediately say,
I would have
oh,
said
it's
T. Higgins.
It's T. Higgins. T. Higgins is currently the wide receiver 22. So Joe Burrow right now is supporting 3 wide receivers inside the top 24. Are you buying Tyler Boyd as a potential sneaky trade candidate, or are you just letting the big games go?
I was offered him in a league recently, and I could not pull the trigger. I think it's more of a mirage than anything. I don't think that Joe Burrow can continue to throw for almost 500 yards. Now, I love it for the fantasy, and Joe Burrow seems like one of those guys that we were in between Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. Mostly every other league took Justin Herbert first, but Joe Burrow was the guy that, man, they ran the football so much. Can they return that value? Because that Super Bowl hangover always seems to happen. But I think the Cincinnati Bengals are a great offense. I had a question today on YouTube. Do you prefer Joe Mixon or do you prefer Jonathan Taylor rest of season? Now,
JT.
I said Jonathan Taylor. Of course I did. Yeah. But there's no question that the Bengals are a better offense. So more scoring opportunities, more chances to get touchdowns. We've seen Joe Mixon involved in the passing game. Their end of season finish might be close because JT's missed some games. Rest of season, if you're going from now till the end, yes, I prefer JT, but it's closer than it should be.
Jonathan Taylor or Josh Jacobs rest of season?
Man, oh man, isn't that another one where Josh Jacobs, I don't know if JT can catch Josh Jacobs right now. That might be a tough one.
Yep.
But man, I might just, it's hard to stay away from the hot hand. On that one? I'm just gonna
plead the
not plead the fifth. For everyone in the chat, quick, we will be answering questions, but Mac and I will just gonna talk and get things going first, but we will get to your questions shortly. We all can just converse and we'll talk about some players.
Let's just start the segment off here with some buy candidates, guys that I think that you should go out, you should buy, because I truly do believe they're going to help you win a fantasy championship. And I'll start with the guy that you saw in the thumbnail when you clicked on this stream, DeAndre Swift of the Detroit Lions. Now, he has missed since week 3. Weeks 4 through 8, including a bye. You have not had him. And everybody thought, me included, that we were going to get DeAndre Swift after the bye week, healthy, ready to go, help me win week 7. And it is what it is. And we were without him again.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams, serviceable again. If you have him to plug some holes, you're not doing too bad. But DeAndre Swift is undoubtedly an upgrade. So why should you invest your, future capital, your, decent players that you have to go out and trade for a guy that might not even play? And my reminder to you is that DeAndre Swift, when healthy this year, is averaging 100 scrimmage yards and 2/3 of a touchdown to go along with a bundle of receptions. He's the primary ball carrier. He's the primary receiver. The only thing that is the downside for him is that Jamal Williams continues to be a factor around the goal line. But DeAndre Swift, garbage time or not, is an absolute volume play and elite when healthy. There's no way that he cannot be healthy by this point in time. So the reason why I think you can buy him right now, those DeAndre Swift owners are growing tired of having
Yep.
him be inactive week over week over week. The beauty in buying him, though, is I believe he's going to be healthy. I believe that he's going to return to form, and you already got his bye week out of the way. So you are buying a player that no longer has a bye for the remainder of the fantasy season. So you can plug in that RB1 and have that position filled, never have to worry about it unless re-injury happens.
I like it, Mac. And I mean, I'm scrambling this week because I have DeAndre Swift. I traded away David Montgomery for an elite wide receiver, and now I may be stuck. So
Right.
I'll be grabbing a streamer off the waiver wire, trying to get Michael Carter, even though he's going to be in a timeshare with James Robinson. So I'm concerned. I'm going to hold him. I'm not going to put him up on the block because
Yep.
he's so valuable that I should be able to get a lot. But I do like DeAndre Swift. And we know that the Lions can move the ball and score. They were one of the highest scoring offenses early in this season. And I do think that he's going to be a great player down the stretch. Do you want to talk anymore with DeAndre? I have another running back that I think you should probably look to acquire.
The only thing I wanted to note about DeAndre Swift is when we start making trades at this point of the year, I do like to factor in their playoff schedule because to me, that makes a difference. If I can even make a lateral trade for somebody who has more favorable matchups, I'm going to try and do so. DeAndre Swift, assuming your playoffs are week 15 through 17, plays the Jets, the Panthers, and the Bears, all plus matchups on the ground. It doesn't really matter. DeAndre Swift, when healthy, is matchup proof. In those games they trail, he's been elite in garbage time. But should they be competitive like they have been, that's just even better.
Yeah, I like it. So my target at the running back position right now is going to be I think it's going to be much cheaper than DeAndre Swift. And I've heard other podcasts talk about it, but I do want to outline the possibility of this player getting traded.
Talk to me.
Kareem Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
We have the LA Rams looking for a running back. And if he lands on the Rams, I think that is a recipe for success. Even
he would
if
automatically be a top 12 option.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and not only is he an elite handcuff, if something were to happen to Chubb, and doesn't matter their schedule in that case with Deshaun Watson and co, Kareem Hunt's going to be great no matter what. But they're phasing him out. They're not using him as much. So I think that's why he's a good, cheap trade target. And I do think there's a very good possibility that he gets traded. Before the season even started, he was asking for a trade. Now, I mean, I really, and how elite Nick Chubb is, and I think Dearness Johnson is a very feasible backup. The Browns should absolutely trade him. They need to get some kind of draft capital back after sending everything away for Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
So I do think that Kareem Hunt is a guy that you can start in a spot start. I know he hasn't been great, but you can start him week in and week out regardless. He has touchdown opportunity. But I do think there's opportunity for when he gets traded to hopefully an elite team really going for it. If he would have been at the Jets, that would have been great. He would have been a great replacement for Breece Hall. But I think
the Rams are a really good spot.
If he goes to the Rams, that would be great.
And Kareem Hunt's an unrestricted free agent after this year. The free agent pool of running backs in this offseason coming is going to be very, very plentiful. I believe off the top of my head, you have Kareem Hunt, David Montgomery. Who else was in there? Damian Harris. It's a laundry list. I'm downplaying it, but it is big. There's a huge list of people. I believe Derrick Henry's in there as well. Yeah, he is done after this year. It would be an easy trade or pickup. The Browns can get him off the books, maybe lose some of that money, clear up some cap space. Like, it should be a very simple trade to get done.
Yep.
So
awesome. I do want to welcome in Jacob, Eli, Lucius coming in, Zachary, Griff, always a guy coming in here. Appreciate y'all.
My guy.
We will get to your questions, but either way, we're happy. We have 23 people watching. We appreciate the support each and every week. Y'all show up. We basically doing a surprise live stream, and y'all are here supporting the show. Lewis, welcome in as well. Shout out to all you guys. I hopefully you like the shout outs because we really appreciate the support.
Question for you. I know his price tag is massive right now, but are you going to trade or try to trade for Kenneth Walker in the coming weeks?
I would love to try to trade for Kenneth Walker. It's
Mm-hmm.
very hard to do. I am a Walker stan. I said after last week that I was going to buy his jersey, and I know you just traded for him in one of our OG money leagues, a gridiron tradition that we've had for years. So I know you're on the boat with me. What would you pay for a guy like Ken Walker, who may be a good keeper even going forward?
I mean, the trade piece is so hard, right? Because it truly matters what the other team needs. Like that would be my biggest tip for you guys making your trades right now. Don't look at the trade as what can I get? You have to look at the trade through the lens of your trade partner. It's like, what do they need?
Yeah.
Right. Like
So
if
I guess
you
you're
don't
talking
satisfy
wide receiver. So if say you have abundant of running backs, you're stocked at running backs, you need a wide receiver. I think we got to go through some of this list to see who would you rather have, Jalen Waddle or Ken Walker?
Again, I think it comes down to your needs, right? Like,
so you need I mean, in theory, I guess you need a wide receiver.
It's tough because the team that has Ken Walker isn't necessarily going to be plentiful enough at running back because nobody is, especially with the injuries and lack of starts we've had. You would have to throw somebody else in, right?
Yeah.
You would have to say, I'm going to give you Jalen Waddle and, a startable piece like Raheem Mostert, for example,
I was
or
kind of just thinking that same thing, even though they're both
Antonio
Dolphins.
Gibson or somebody like Brian Robinson, somebody you could just like throw in the deal that they get a replacement plus an upgrade at wide receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to throw in a piece, but I would rather have the Ken Walker side, right? Yeah. Kenneth Walker over the last 2 weeks since being the starter, averaging 24 fantasy points per game. He has shown in both of those games that he has the ability to explode and house it from anywhere on the field. He's handling 74% of the opportunities and played 73% of the snaps. So when you talk about opportunity and just dominating the attempts, he has a large portion of the market share. I thought, for a brief moment that DJ Dallas was going to come in. We were going to get Pete Carroll, and it was just going to be a nightmare.
I was just going to bring that up. I was going to remember when we were worried about DJ Dallas.
But no, man, like it's been great to watch. Like he's so shifty. He's so explosive. Everything you saw from him at Michigan State has come to the NFL full force. Like it's great to see him do it. It just sucks that we had to, see Rashad's penny season end for this to happen, but it is what it is.
Who would you rather have rest of season running back, Joe Mixon or Ken Walker?
Ken Walker.
Leonard Fournette or Ken Walker?
Ken Walker.
Dalvin Cook or Ken Walker?
Ken Walker.
Christian McCaffrey?
Christian McCaffrey.
Okay. I was going to get too excited there.
And the Ken Walker over Dalvin Cook, it maybe seems like a little bit of a stretch, but Dalvin Cook was a name we talked about 2 weeks ago on Trade Target Show where we said you should sell Dalvin Cook because Alexander Mattison was splitting the red zone carries equally as well as the snaps basically equally. It was a 53 to 47 split in week 6 before their bye week. So, I mean, Dalvin Cook's still great. He's still getting touches. He's just not getting all of the high value touches. And that's where I think a difference between him and someone like Ken Walker in fantasy really, really does matter. An extra 20% of snaps for Ken Walker, I like the opportunity to have a higher ceiling. And I think that's what we're after here.
Yeah. What are one of the surprise, besides, I guess, Josh Jacobs, but are you surprised with some of the the output that a guy like, Pierce has come out strong this
Mm-hmm.
year. Miles Sanders has come out strong. The Eagles look phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone surprised you or stand out early this season, like halfway through the season almost, that has really surprised you
The
on for
the
the best?
the biggest difference maker over the last couple weeks has been Austin Eckler. He looked like he was left for dead, and now after two multi-touchdown performances is automatically the running back one. So that
Yeah.
one just kind of came out of nowhere. I think obvious the obvious one on the year is either Josh Jacobs or I think even Saquon Barkley, who was going at the back end of your second or beginning of third in your drafts, depending on how deep your league is. And he has
Hmm.
been every bit as good as we remember, back to the 2019,
Yeah.
2020. So that's been really, really nice. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is also one that he's currently a running back one right now, but it has been on so much efficiency. If there's anybody I could, just say you guys should trade now while you still can, I do believe it's Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Got into the end zone once again. He wasn't noted as the starter, but if we look back to that game, and we talked about this on the live, does it matter who's the starter? The answer is no. Pacheco got 8 carries, Clyde 6. Do you know who led the team in snap share between the running backs, though?
McKinnon?
It was Jerick McKinnon. So it truly does not matter. This is a rotisserie of backs,
Hmm.
and
Clyde
Clyde is.
does seem to have the goal line work.
He does. He does. You're right.
For better for worse.
Mm-hmm.
And it will keep his fantasy value afloat.
Mm-hmm.
But I am trying to sell Clyde desperately. Tough to sell him on their bye week, but I agree. You need to try to sell Clyde and get as much value as you can. I'm trying to package him together with potential keepers.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not working. No one's because the Chiefs play on prime time, everybody sees it.
Yep.
And it's a tough sell.
I want you to go out and buy Jonathan Taylor right now as well.
Okay. Yeah, let me hold on. I'll pause the show.
You know what?
I'm going to pause the show and make some offers.
Okay, yeah, no, I want you to do it. Because this is, again, I feel like this is Groundhog Day. We do this every single year because there's a lull in Jonathan Taylor's season. Even last year when he finished as the running back one, thanks to Derrick Henry going down, Jonathan Taylor through the first 7 weeks of the year was the running back two, averaging 17.7 fantasy points per game. Over the back half of the year, though, was the running back one, increasing his points per game by 8.5 points. Like Jonathan Taylor was over 25 a game in half PPR leagues. And we're starting to see that pass catching role be reinstated into his workload. I know he only had 10 carries this week, but had 8 targets, which is a season high for him. He caught 7 of those 8 targets. And
Yeah.
like I joke to you, I want the Colts to use Jonathan Taylor the same way they use Deion Jackson.
Seriously, is that too
And
much to ask?
it's too much to ask. Who knows? With Ellinger coming in for the foreseeable future, Matt Ryan being demoted to the backup role, maybe that just is going to lead to a heavier run game with
Yeah,
Taylor and Hines.
that's
But I truly think that, he's a piece that you've got to get going.
yeah.
And I'm also tempering expectations. They might have been, as silly as it sounds, easing him back into the offense after coming back from injury. So I
And that's
think,
what I was gonna ask you. The backup
yeah,
quarterback. The Colts look so bad. One week we have Michael Pittman getting targeted like crazy,
yep,
and the next week we have basically Matt Ryan on his back, can't
right.
throw. I think he came out and said like I can't do that again. Like I can't attempt 40 passes or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
The Colts are just in shambles. They're a bad team, and it obviously affects the fantasy value of Pittman and Taylor. But I agree, and we did a video about it today, and we need to. I know it's hard to reiterate every time. Trade for these players. If
Yeah.
you would have traded for Eckler after the first bad games and just believe in the talent of Eckler, you'd been on top like crazy. This is the same thing. You have a window now to buy JT. It doesn't happen very often, but you need to try and do it because if he goes out and puts up 28, 30 fantasy points,
It's
he's
over.
impossible to get.
It's absolutely over.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the other thing I want to say here or reference is Jonathan Taylor to start the year 76, 74, 76, 88% snap share, gets injured, keeps himself out of the game week 6 against the Jags, said, no, I'm not going to go. I'm going to give it another week. He was only on the field 55% of the time. You'd have to imagine a week more removed from that injury, that snap share is only going to increase. And with, factor in a backup quarterback coming in, it kind of just all systems go for Jonathan Taylor.
Yep. Yeah, I tend to agree. I
Playoff
want to.
schedule, the Vikings, the Chargers, the Giants. Three
Oh,
decent matchups for JT.
the Giants' defense has been looking good, but besides that, the Chargers can't stop anybody, and the Vikings are just as bad.
Mm-hmm.
So love that. I want to
Anybody
talk.
you're buying at the wide receiver position?
Yeah. One guy that I've been surprised about is Chris Olave. He
Mm-hmm.
looks like the real deal. He is a target monster. Very impressed with what he is. I'm not necessarily buying him because I think his stock's a little bit too high. And as a rookie, I mean, it's still hard to trust a guy like Chris Olave. He doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies deep down inside. If you know what I'm saying?
He's a top 10 wide receiver.
I know,
Sorry, not top 10. Yes. No.
pretty close. If he's not,
Sorry, he's top 20. Top
okay.
20 wide receiver. We've seen 3 games now of him 13 or more targets. The opportunity for him is king, and they've been doing it with a rotation of quarterbacks. So I do believe that Chris Olave is going to be very viable for you long term. Can you buy him? Probably not. He's probably overpriced at this point in time.
I think DK Metcalf is an interesting buy because he's hurt right now.
Even with the injury?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it seems like it's not a serious injury. He's ruled out again. But if you have the depth to try to trade for a guy like DK,
Mm-hmm.
he was a buy. I mean, you can't predict injury. It's really tough. You hate that for DK, but he was a buy to me. And how good Geno Smith has been, and you're betting on the talent of DK. I think he's an interesting buy if you can take advantage of a desperate owner and they need a spot start. Like Juju had a really great game. Put Juju on the table and try to get a DK. You might have to put something else on the table. I don't know. Hard to say,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's an interesting buy for me right now.
I'm going to go back to the well. We talked about Chris Godwin 2 weeks ago. I'm going to bring him back up again because I truly, truly
The
believe that
targets, boy.
if you don't secure Chris Godwin this week, your window's gone because he's going to beat up on the Baltimore Ravens, who are just bleeding fantasy points right now to their opponents. Chris Godwin has a 27% target share right now. Him and Mike Evans are just dominating. Mike Evans, 15 targets last week. Chris Godwin, 13. Now, Godwin only secured 7 of those 13, whereas Mike Evans was 9. And the average depth of the target was not as deep as it was for Mike Evans. Shocker there. But if we look at this Bucs offense, Brady's putting the ball in primarily 2 spots, and it's Evans and it's Godwin. And they've been a little bit anemic on offense, and they haven't been scoring the football. But that's going to change. It's absolutely going to change. And I think it changes right here in week 8 with the Ravens. Go out and get Chris Godwin ASAP. People are, going to look right now in the box score in his total fantasy finish, and they're going to say, woof. Chris Godwin right now, wide receiver 57. He's only scoring 8.8 fantasy points per game. He's missed 2 weeks. There's so many reasons to hate on Chris Godwin and feel like you're getting out from under him, but he's going to help you win your league. I guarantee you that, honestly.
Yeah, I love that. I want to let everyone know that we will be answering questions soon. When Mac, do you want to start answering questions? Then like 9:45 Eastern?
Yeah, we'll give it like
Okay.
5 more minutes here.
Yeah, 5-6 minutes, and we'll start getting through these questions, guys. We do appreciate the support. Y'all are awesome. We appreciate the questions, but we'll get them to a few minutes here.
And I know you guys, I was just going to say, I know that you guys have your waivers coming out tomorrow. So if you have any questions about waivers, we did put out a video, but but you can check that out. I can go over some people that I like, or you can just say, hey, like so-and-so's on my waiver wire. Should I spend priority? How much fab should I spend? Like Landon and I can help you with those questions as well.
For sure. Here's a little tip for people. Trading for players off a bye week. Because it's so people fantasy owners have short memories. We're like goldfish. Players up and down, good week, bad week. The valuations go up and down like the tide. Like it's crazy. Like we overvalue, undervalue players like crazy. So coming off a bye week, it almost feels like a zero, right, Mac? Like Devonta Smith, who? Like AJ Brown, who? Stephon Diggs, who? Like I don't care about those guys. But I think you can take advantage of that. Trading for a guy like Devonta Smith on a really, really good offense. It's hard to get AJ Brown. I love AJ Brown. If you can get him, do that. But I think Devonta Smith is more attainable.
Sure.
He's a guy that we've kind of forgot about. He hasn't had a crazy big game since week 3. So you bet on this good offense. You bet on Jalen Hurts. If, knock on wood, hopefully nothing happens to AJ Brown. But if something did, I mean, Devonta Smith would be getting obscene amounts of targets. He has the relationship with Devonta Smith from college. Like they go to each other no matter what. I know he's not the alpha. He's not the AJ Brown, but he's still a very reliable, sure-handed receiver that's going to get secondary work. But he's very valuable. So I think you can get him almost not as a toss-in, but he's a guy you can start and flex every single week. And no one's hanging on to the Devonta Smith shares. So I think he's an interesting trade target. He's not a league winner in my opinion, but I think he's good enough to. He has a floor, and because he's on the Eagles, he does have a big ceiling as well. You've seen it, 169 yards and touchdowns because he's on the Eagles. So I think Smith and props to you, Mac. You were betting on the second-year wide receivers that just seem to be so much better than the rookies, and for the most part, we've seen that. Of course, there's exceptions to everything. There's the Chases and Jeffersons of the world in every single draft class. But these Devonta Smith, second-year wide receiver, clearly a really good talent and a guy that right now you can trade for cheap.
Yeah, that was a good segment that we did. I said like if a rookie wide receiver finishes in the top 30, 36, their chance of repeating that in year 2 is like 70%. Like it is very, very high, repeating or improving on. And Devonta Smith is on that pace so far. One name that I wanted to bring up, as you said, like trading for people on a bye week. If I had George Kittle, I'd be approaching the Travis Kelce owner this week. Maybe they are like a 3-4 team. They're around 500 or they're struggling. They've got Travis Kelce on a bye this week. Hey, here's George Kittle. He came back from injury. He had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 98 yards, a touchdown, had the big game. He's back. Meanwhile, Travis Kelce is the runaway tight end 1. You get his bye week out of the way. You go and stream somebody this week like a Tyler Higbee, who someone probably dropped because he's on bye last week. And you just fill the hole in for 1 week, and then you get an upgrade at tight end. And I'm not saying George Kittle isn't worthy of keeping up with Travis Kelce. I'm just saying it's improbable given that there's really no wide receiver in that offense that stands out as the go-to guy other than Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you can get Kelce right now, maybe this is the time. Very hard to do, but it's possible because they're on bye.
Are you selling a hot start from Josh Jacobs, averaging 32 fantasy points in half PPR leagues over the last 3 weeks? Are you selling high on him? Or are you buying him?
I'm riding the wave.
You're just staying in the flames.
Staying in the flames. He's on heater.
Okay. I think that I would trade Josh Jacobs, to be completely honest with you. His playoff schedule is not great. And if I could get someone like a Jonathan Taylor in that deal,
sure,
I would do it.
And maybe people, a lot of scoreboard watchers are like, why would you want a Jonathan Taylor? Look at his box scores. But for yours, what I agree with you in that sense, and I said I was going to ride the wave, but a guy like Josh Jacobs, his value can plummet. So if you think about if he has a bad game, like he did in week 2 and week 1, if he has a bad game, your his value goes so far down because no one really truly believes in Jacobs, I don't think. Now they're thrilled about it. They're thrilled that he has put up the points he has, getting 20, 28 attempts per game, over
Mm-hmm.
140 yards, touchdowns after touchdown after touchdown. However, if he has a couple bad games back, people are going to be questioning it.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, right?
Yep.
Couple
Yep.
bad games from Clyde, all of a sudden no one wants him,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And Josh Jacobs isn't that name. He's not the Eckler. He's not the Barkley, Derrick
No.
Henry, where people are like, buy low, buy low. He's a guy that people are just happy about. They got him in the late rounds and they're winning their matchups and they're thinking he's a league winner. But all of a sudden, if he has a bad game, now you can't trade him.
Mm-hmm. Like, you flash back to Gridiron Tradition, I tried to make a trade with the DeAndre Swift owner 2 weeks ago, and it was like, hey, I'll give you Josh Jacobs after a big game for DeAndre Swift, and his response to me was, no, I don't trust the Raiders, I don't trust Josh Jacobs, I would rather hang on to DeAndre Swift. Now, had we made that trade, I would have been very sad after 2 elite performances, but he came back to me and said, hey, is Josh Jacobs still available? And I was like, no, price went up. But like, if the right deal comes along, like a DeAndre Swift plus for Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Taylor plus for Josh Jacobs, I'm going to do it.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Yep. Guys, smash that like button. Shout out to Griffin, our boy Griff, Snap Army member. Appreciate y'all. We will be starting to answer these questions at a speed you've never seen before.
Starting with John. John says, hey, Zay Jones a good pickup in a 12-man PPR? I would say yes. In a
Yeah, for
12-man
sure.
PPR, you probably need someone at the flex this week with, no Mike Williams, no Keenan Allen, no Josh Palmer, any of the Kansas City Chief trio of wide receivers or running backs. So, yeah, I would say Zay Jones is a good pickup. Seems to get the
Correct.
volume.
Of course.
Jags are doing all right.
Him and Christian Kirk are very similar. Like they're getting that volume.
JP Baskin says, who would you start, Dak or Geno? Thanks for the advice.
Oh,
It's a tough one.
that is a tough one.
Were you impressed by Dak in his return, or were you expecting a little bit more?
I wanted more. I
Yeah.
thought he coming back. I think Dak. I thought was an auto start,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think he has potential still. I
Yep.
think that I would start Dak Prescott this week over Geno Smith. I will be doing my rankings tomorrow, guys. So we will. I'll if you join our Discord, you can ask me that question again, and we can try to figure something out. But I will be doing the rankings soon, and we'll know more as on Sunday when we do the live start set.
Yeah, Dak Prescott going up against the Chicago Bears, really, really good matchup. The Seattle Seahawks going up against the Giants, not as favorable, but still good. Geno Smith is, I think, the real deal for the Seattle Seahawks, and having Kenneth Walker is making his job a little bit easier. So,
Yeah, I would start Dak.
I'm going to start Dak, but it's close. I don't
It's
think you have a bad option there.
Nope.
Nick Perrone, Alec Pierce or Paris Campbell, Chuba Hubbard or Deontay Foreman.
So same team. We saw Paris Campbell have that big game. Neither guy I get excited about. I'm not chasing the Paris Campbell points.
No.
How many targets did Pierce get? Let me just vet that real quick. He had 4 targets, 3 receptions, and Campbell, he had a big game, 12 targets. I would just chase those targets then. I would absolutely go with Paris Campbell and just chase the 12 targets. I would have just said Pierce, but I think you can do that. As far as Chuba or Foreman, it was really tough. The workload was split, but I think I'm a Chuba. I think I'm a Foreman fan. Chuba got banged up with an ankle, but I would probably go with Deonta Foreman. He got 15 attempts, over 100 yards on the ground, a couple targets. That's who I'm going with.
Well, I was pretty vocal in the waiver video, basically saying that Foreman came out, dominated the carries, but also dominated the snaps. And yeah, Chuba was a little bit more involved in the passing game, but when Deonta Foreman runs for almost 8 a carry, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I'm starting Foreman. They split. It was 54-46. So it was pretty split 50-50. Like it's very close as far as snap percentage. But
carry was not close.
Right.
Nick, I'm going to say that I'm going to sit down both Alec Pierce and Paris Campbell and look for a better option until I see Sam Ehlinger play football.
That's actually a good point. I did not consider that it's a new quarterback.
Yeah. Every time we have a new quarterback, there are adjustments to be made. They have new favorite targets. I'm just going to temper expectations and not play either. So I would look for a different option that week.
Yeah.
Okay, starting Michael Carter or Darrell Henderson Jr. I'm sad that Breece Hall is out. Michael Carter or Darrell Henderson, I think a lot of people are still going to run to waivers with that priority in their hand or a lot of fab money to get Michael Carter after the Breece Hall injury. I don't know if that is the appropriate play given that they ran to the trade block to acquire James Robinson.
Yeah.
Darrell Henderson, in relief of Cam Akers, was almost a running back too. And we've seen Darrell Henderson be serviceable.
I would go Darrell Henderson.
Yeah, I would also go Darrell Henderson. I think them running out and getting James Robinson via trade is just a sign that Michael Carter is a good complementary back, but he's not necessarily the feature back or enough to carry a backfield on his own. And them getting James Robinson speaks exactly to that. So while Carter has been a decent play, he's been very inconsistent. He's sort of had 2 decent games, and his average is being pulled up by that on a points per game basis. So I would just go Henderson.
Yep, Henderson.
Just traded Alvin Kamara for Cooper Kupp. Is that a win?
I'd say yes.
Yeah, even in a vacuum, I would say yes.
It doesn't matter.
Context, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Should I trade Joe Mickens, George Pickens, and Juju Smith-Schuster for Swift, Jamal Williams, and Michael Thomas?
Joe Mixon, Pickens, and Juju for Swift, Jamal Williams, and Michael Thomas. So
no, I'm not doing that. Michael Thomas, I don't want to deal with his injuries.
Yeah.
And then Swift and Williams, are you ever going to play them both?
No, you're basically trading for one running back, and you're getting 3 players.
And should Chase Claypool be traded to another team in the coming weeks,
George Pickens looks really good.
George Pickens already looks good, and if you have a more consolidated target share, he's even more attractive. So I think I hold out, dude.
Despite Mac's love for DeAndre Swift, there's a line in the sand, and you're giving away too many startable assets. You can start all 3 of those guys, where on the other side, you're only starting a Detroit running back. And we're not sure if Swift's out this week. You're starting Jamal Williams. We know Michael Thomas isn't playing because the guy can't stay healthy. He's just getting paid to sit on the sideline. And no go.
Tom Brady at quarterback, running backs of Kamara, CMC, DeAndre Swift, wide receivers of Lamb, Godwin, tight ends of Schultz, Taysom Hill, defense is Dallas. Have Eli Mitchell and Jamal Williams as handcuffs advice. Looks good, man. Like 10-team leagues are tough to win. You've got to have sort of all the right pieces at all the right time. I think you can probably do without Eli Mitchell. Go to your waiver wire and swap him out. I know that he's going to return soon, but you can't assume that he's going to have any fantasy relevant role. So I would definitely move on from Eli Mitchell. Maybe try to trade him to the McCaffrey owner. Or no, you are the McCaffrey owner. Never mind. Yeah, I would just drop him and move on to something else. But Kamara, CMC, Swift, really good trio. I would love to know who else you have at wide receiver, because it seems like you're a little short. Lamb and Godwin are your only ones.
You're
probably hurt from Tom Brady. You could probably stream some other quarterbacks, but if there's a week for Tom Brady to do anything, it is this week against the Ravens.
In theory, it should be. Yeah, I would be dropping Eli in a 10-team league.
Should you trade Tyreek and Ayuk for ETN and Debo? Yes.
Yeah, you prefer ETN and Debo?
With James Robinson leaving town, yeah.
Yeah, ETN looks really good. We haven't talked about him, but huge fan of his. Debo
I mean,
does have a hem.
We've been big fans of him all year, and we've said he's slowly eating into this role. And last week, James Robinson gets how many carries, Lando?
James Robinson, I can bet that.
You texted it to me. You said James Robinson.
Oh, James
Robinson.
Donut? Yeah, 0 donut. Sorry, I thought you said Travis Etienne. I was going to say
Travis Etienne was 14 for 114 and a touchdown.
Yep. And then
off the top of my head.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, donut for. So
yeah.
I do. So DeAndre Swift does have a hamstring injury. So I don't know if he plays this week. They have a bye week next week. So that could have him sit out. If that.
What do you mean? What do you mean Swift?
Sorry, Deebo Samuel.
Yes, Deebo.
Deebo Samuel has a hamstring injury.
Yep.
So if that leans you which way, maybe keep Tyreek and Ayuk for one more week. But yeah.
I think I'm making that deal. To acquire a running back like Tyreek and Deebo, you could make an argument that they are somewhat equal in potential, although Tyreek has been so much better and had so much more opportunity. But
yeah,
Ayuk for ETN, you're winning the ETN side by so much.
Yeah. Yep, that's true.
Fournette, Deebo, Rashad White for Devontae Adams and James Conner. No, I do not want the James Conner side.
Yeah, that's a lot for just Devontae Adams.
It is. No thanks. 10-team league. Feel like I have the best team, but my record is 4-3. I've traded nonstop. Got Mahomes and Dak at quarterback. Running back of ETN, Mixon, Walker. Wide receivers, Amon-Ra, Kupp, CD, Pittman, and tight end of Andrews.
Yeah.
Eli, honestly, your points against are probably one of the highest in the league if you're not winning. But you've got all the right pieces, man. You've got the elite quarterback, some solid running backs who are turning the corner. ETN, Walker, been great. And then you've got the wide receivers and an elite tight end. Like, you've got all the pieces. Now you just got to stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get to the playoffs and everything else will be gravy from there.
Yep, exactly right.
Would we trade Deebo for Amon-Ra St. Brown in a half PPR league?
1 for 1. I mean,
I'll keep Deebo.
Yeah, you're gaining a bye week from Amon-Ra, but he got banged up. Now
concussion.
They said that he could have come back, but with the new protocols, they're just out now. So that's tough for Amon-Ra St. Brown. But in a vacuum, long term, not just this week, I'll take Deebo long term.
I have both Hubbard and Foreman. If I'm going to try and trade one for Hunt, who should I trade? Hubbard.
In my opinion.
Yep. Is Eno a drop candidate even after his big week last week?
No, he's not. Don't drop him.
No, I wouldn't drop him either. I don't know that James Conner retains a big enough workload here. And let's face it, he's the most touchdown dependent running back in the league. And you've seen that this year. The volume for him has not been what you'd want it to be. Can we rate a 10-man team? Half PPR. Kyler, CMC, Barkley, ETN, Mostert, Gus, Pacheco, Diggs, Keenan, Pittman, Olave, and Ertz.
A-. A+.
Yeah. I think you could probably trade some of your running backs to upgrade some wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, especially after Mostert and Gus had these massive weeks.
Yeah.
Put them together. Put Pacheco in there too. Who cares? And try to get Devontae Adams.
Yeah, take a Keenan Allen and Mostert, Keenan Allen and a Gus, and go get an upgrade at wide receiver. CMC, Barkley, ETN, that trio is going to be solid. I'm with Lando, but an A-.
Yeah, great team though.
Really good. Yeah, you could probably upgrade your tight end position as well, but Zach Ertz right now, the tight end 4. So
Maybe you get a Mark Andrews off
after a bad week. Yeah.
Bad week.
Got offered Swift, Jamal Williams, Michael Thomas for. Oh, we already got that one.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Keep it going. Griff.
We got our guy.
Yeah.
Griff. Started a rebuild last year. Finished bottom 3. Suddenly 10-4. Must be playing against the median. 11 picks in the top 2 rounds for the next 2 years. Who would you go on a spending spree to bolster the squad or sit
for another year? Oh, Griff, show us, go in that private Discord that we have for Snap Army members and send us that team.
Mm-hmm.
You could try to go on a spending spree, try to get a Barkley type, a Cop Diggs if you can, target those bottom 2, 3, 4 teams. But the next year's class is supposed to be phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So I would. I mean, it's nice not. You might be able to win and have those picks next year too.
Tips for anybody doing a rebuild. If you're selling off pieces, sell off your running backs and acquire blue chip rookie wide receivers or sophomore wide receivers or even third-year wide receivers. You want to rebuild around wide receivers and you want to use your draft picks to draft running backs. For example, next year you get Bijan Robinson out of Texas. You get him and he's 21, turning 22. You're going to have him for the entirety of his rookie deal. The worst thing you can do is acquire a running back at age 25 or 26. Their, rookie contract is expiring. They might not get it picked up. They might get relegated to a complementary role, a second down role, or second back role. And those things are just out of your hand. But when you get someone like a Kenneth Walker who graduates into a role, that role is secure and it's not going anywhere. So draft the rookie running backs, trade for the rookie wide receivers, and everything will be good. But I would go after with those picks, go give a couple of those firsts away for like a Jamar Chase or a Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, if you can make that happen, yeah.
Gary McCord, Kelsey for Kittle and Hunt. My current running backs are Eno, Gus, Eli, Cordero Patterson on the IR. Oh boy.
Yeah, so Gary basically has a bye week he's got to fill, and we told people to trade for Kelsey, but now he's thinking maybe trade away Kelsey and get Kittle and Hunt. We talked about Hunt being a good trade target, but there is obviously massive chance that he is just a backup to Nick Chubb rest of season. So the risk level is definitely there. We're trying to trade away a blue chip tight end.
And that's fine though, because Kareem Hunt is still an upgrade over Benjamin and Edwards. Eli Mitchell when he returns is not what you wanted him to be, and Cordero Patterson we're still not sure.
He needs running back help.
He needs help. So in this situation, I think it does make sense, especially with Kelsey on bye this week. This trade might buy you a win, might keep your season going.
What is the value of a win?
And that's, if you don't win, now you're behind potentially 2 weeks, and it'll take 2 weeks to get back to where you currently are. So sometimes buying the win is more important. Should I trade Aaron Jones for Debo? PPR double flex, lost Mike Williams, but have T. Higgins and Gabe Davis. Other running backs are AK, Raheem, B-Rob, and Pollard. The hamstring concerns me, though. I'm probably just going to hang tight with Aaron Jones, man.
Yeah, the hamstring concerns me too. I am concerned about Debo a little bit. I did a video about him. If you're a believer in him, the CMC deal doesn't change anything. I talked to Mack about this, and he said, if you like Debo before, you should still like him. More chances for first downs, touchdowns, better team. We know the 49ers are going all in to try to win this year, and they're going to get the playmakers the ball. That's going to be Debo and McCaffrey and Kittle. So especially if their defense is bad, then there's just also more chances for shootouts. So yeah, I'll just hang on to Aaron Jones. We saw this last week that he has the big game. It might not be consistent because the Packers are trash.
Terrible.
So It's hard to rely on that, but I mean, he is the offense. He's the best player on the team. They don't. AJ Dillon seems to be a forgotten man there. With Lazard getting hurt now, like Aaron Jones is Mr. Necessary. He is going to be a guy that has to be involved if they have any chance of winning.
For a man that was supposed to go to the Bills-Packers game in Buffalo this week, I am not going. I do not want that smoke. I'm just
You
going to
wouldn't
watch
go in
from
your
home.
Packers jersey because you don't want to show your fandom.
No, I'd be going there and being obnoxious, but I don't want it, man. I don't want it. Jay
I'm sad
Ryan,
for
need
you.
wide receiver in my full PPR league. Kirk and Brandon Ayuk are on waivers. Who should I go for? Christian Kirk.
Yeah,
The
I'll go
wide
Christian
receiver
Kirk.
10.
I'm not
on the
buying
year.
into the targets that Ayuk has been getting.
No.
Put a waiver claim in for both, but
Kirk is your one.
Kirk is your first one.
Okay, let's double time. We got a lot of questions here.
I
Traded
know.
Chubb for McCaffrey and Swift. Is that good? I'd say
Yes.
that's unbelievable.
Great.
Do I trade Cook and receive Olave and Deonta Foreman?
I said I would keep Dalvin Cook.
Depends who else you have at wide receiver, but I'd be tempted to do that deal.
Okay.
Yeah. Do I trade Cup for Godwin and Swift was offered to me today? I would take the Godwin and Swift side, yeah.
Okay.
I do believe DeAndre Swift is a league winner.
There we go.
Who do I start between Walker, Hopkins, CeeDee Lamb, and AJ Brown? Wide receiver 2 and a flex. Jesus.
So your wide receiver 2 is AJ Brown, and your flex is.
I mean, you have to start Kenneth Walker, right?
It feels like it. I don't know. That's a crazy question, man. Your
team's too good.
6-team leagues are tough to decide. Every player is good.
Walker for me is an auto start.
Okay, and then
got
to be AJ, right?
I mean, CeeDee Lamb is at the bottom of the list. Hopkins and AJ Brown are just getting targeted way more. So
yeah,
I'll probably go. I'm tempering expectations on Hopkins a little bit because he did beat up on 2 backup corners last week.
Yeah.
So I'll go Walker and AJ Brown.
Cool.
Olave is a beast. I do agree.
Agreed. Should I trade Mike Evans for ETN? Need a top RB since Breece Hall is out, and I already have CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra.
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure.
If you can trade like Amon-Ra instead, that would be, I think, better. But
yeah, I would rather keep Evans exactly and trade Amon-Ra if you could.
Have Josh Jacobs 2 and 5. Need to make some moves. Who should I try to get?
Sell him high. Try to get multiple pieces, Henry.
See if that DeAndre Swift owner or Jonathan Taylor owner is somehow, the same as you, 2 and 5, or 1 and 6, or even 3 and 4.
Go to the Breece Hall owner, Henry, and if their record's good, which it probably is, try to take advantage of that.
Should I trade Chuba and Hurst for Amari Cooper? Yeah.
Yep.
Should I do Michael Pittman and Zeke for Damian Pierce? My receivers will then be Christian Kirk, DeAndre Hopkins, DJ Moore.
I think you're giving up too much for Pierce.
I do agree as well.
Yep.
Should I also trade Ertz, Saquon, and T. Higgins for Kupp, Stevenson, Damian Harris, and Greg Dulcich? No, you should not.
Yeah, just keep your players.
Keep the Ertz, Saquon, T. Higgins side. Eno Benjamin or Darrell Henderson to pick up. Don't need to start either. Just a long-term pick. I would go Henderson.
Yeah, because Connor will be back, Tyler. So look great. If we knew that Connor's out for the season, sure, might be the call. But I think Henderson has secured the number 1 role in LA unless they trade for someone.
Mm-hmm. Rate my team in a half PPR 12-team league. Hurts, Saquon, Walker, ETN, Devontae Adams, Waddle, Everett. Also have B-Rob, Bateman, DJ Moore on the bench. Should I make moves? I'm 5 and 2.
Yep.
No, I think you're good where you're at, dude. Like,
stick where you are.
Yeah, you got Hurts. He's just coming off his bye week.
There's no sell highs for me there. Like that, I would try to be happy with ETN, be happy with Walker, be happy with Saquon. You've got Hurts positional advantage. Yeah, keep it the way it is.
The only thing you could potentially do is like take Brian Robinson and DJ Moore after a big game and go like upgrade your tight end,
Sure.
But
if you get like a Kittle maybe,
or Travis Kelce who's on bye.
Yeah, if you could do that.
Gerald Everett's also on bye. Like that's the one spot that you could probably upgrade your team. Yeah. Should I trade Godwin and Mostert for Henry? Have Najee, Dameon Pierce, AJ Dillon, Melvin Gordon as the running backs, Chase, Godwin, Sutton, and Wandell as the wide receivers.
I would probably do that.
Um,
His wide receivers are good enough to, I mean, Chase, Sutton, and Wandell. I know you're a big fan of Godwin, but with Henry and, I mean, his running backs are hurting.
why don't you trade?
Would you Sutton and Mostert then?
No, why don't you trade like Najee and Wandell for Henry?
Najee and Wandell. Yeah,
Keep Chase, Godwin, Sutton, or like Sutton and Sutton and Mostert. I would try to keep Godwin, honestly.
Okay.
Is J-Rob worth holding on to at this point? Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, just hold. Hold.
Don't make any rash moves. Should I do Pittman Jr. and Zeke for Dameon Pierce? I think we got this one already.
Yeah, we did. He said, I'm seeing it later in the comments. He's 1-6. Most points against my team is Mahomes, Kamara, Zeke, D-Hop. Okay, we'll get to you a little bit later there, Luke.
Cody asking, did we already cover DeAndre Swift, health, and trade talk? Yes, we did. I'm not sure about the live, but you'll have to go on back. But that does remind me, hey, if you guys are liking the answers, the content, go ahead and click that like button. If you're on Apple Podcasts, come over to YouTube.
36 people watching this video. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us on a Tuesday waiver show.
No waiver questions, but that's cool. Kamara for Swift, Fournette, and Godwin.
I want the Swift Fournette Godwin side.
Is that real? Like Kamara's not been that good.
No, you're getting a ton.
Yeah.
If you're selling Kamara for that, do that deal.
Have JT right now and Cup. That's crazy.
If you're getting the big side.
I got Jerry Jeudy and Allen Robinson and Garrett Wilson on my bench. Also, did that go with a previous question from Keenan?
I assume so.
I'm scrolling back. I don't see anything from him. Who should or who could you trade Kamara for?
Very difficult to answer that question, Jeff. You got to find out. Go to the Breece Hall owner. Go to someone who lost Javonte Williams, someone hurting at the running back position, and then see if they could use Kamara. If for some you need a player that really has a ton of depth and is looking for a championship that has running back and wide receiver to give away.
Yeah, like it's really tough. Like the players that I would be potentially targeting there would be, the Kenneth Walker or the Travis Etienne owner. Maybe you can get a 2-for-1 as they see Kamara now performing, coming back healthy. It's like, oh, this is like the guy I know that can get it done for me, when realistically the volume just might not be there for him. The offense just might not be what it used to be. The Alvin Kamara elite performances might be a thing of the past. So you're trading away sort of a name and a good game and maybe trying to make a 2-for-1, get some more depth. So I think that's the trade you try to make.
Yep. Yeah. Love it. Guys, remember to like the video. It's free to do. It's super easy to do. It helps the show a ton. There's 38 people watching, only 24 likes. If we can get up to like 50 likes on a Tuesday, like you guys would be incredible.
Oh, yeah.
We'll stay on if we get to 50 likes.
Chris Henderson saying 10-team PPR league. He's got Debo and Higgins at wide receiver and Kamara, Ramondre, and Ken Walker at running back. Does he take Gus Edwards, who's currently on his bench, and trade him for Amari Cooper? Probably not a bad idea.
No, it's not. Amari Cooper, I've had discussions in the comments with guys, huge Amari Cooper believers. He's been great with Jacoby, and we do have Watson coming back. Things are looking up for Amari. He's having a great season, maybe one of the best draft values this year. Not bad. Not a bad deal. It's team dependent, really. If you're concerned with Debo and being banged up this week and you need a wide receiver, yep, fine.
I am just going through here. Cody saying, I have Swift. Is that good? My running backs are Swift, Mostert, Zeke. I have Gus Edwards on waiver pending. Hopefully I get him. Yeah, adding Gus to that trio would be really, really nice. Zeke is probably somebody I would try to sell, Cody. He got into the end zone a couple times, but really his day is predicated on getting into the paint. And if he doesn't, you're likely disappointed. Tony Pollard continues to eat into his potential. I would sell the name. I would sell the big game. I would try to maybe acquire somebody else. Yeah.
Lots of discussion. Hopefully that Kareem guy is still there, because yes, you should get that package of players.
Mm-hmm. David Gorman, would you trade for Waddle in a PPR league for a 3rd round pick? Considering trading Lamb for Fournette. Thoughts on that? Thank you.
Trading future picks is really tough, because you are hoping you need to win your championship trading away picks. So that's going to be all your risk level. In a vacuum, sure. Yeah, why not? If you're going for it all, if that one piece gets you over and 3rd round pick isn't that much.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, every league is different with how they value picks.
I wouldn't trade a 3rd. I think a 3rd is a little bit too spicy. To be completely honest, if you're talking about a keeper league, I don't even know if I want to get Fournette, man. I think I'd just stay where you are. Hang on to Lamb. If that price for Waddle softens a bit, then I would do that. But I would give up the 3rd for Tyreek, but not for Waddle.
Yeah.
12-man league, lost Javonte and Breece. Oof.
Yeah, I feel that, my man.
Pour one out. Just went out and bought running back. Now I have Herbert, JT Swift, Justin Jefferson, Godwin, and Njoku, London. I also have J-Rob, Rashad, any trade options for a flex. Well, Njoku's going to be out, I believe, 2 to 4 weeks?
Yeah, he says I have replacement.
Oh, he has replacement. Okay, good. So Herbert, JT Swift, JJ, Godwin, solid.
Really good.
Yeah, I don't know, London and J-Rob are still going to be decent flexes for you. I don't know that I would just go out and target a trade. I think
they don't have any in London, and J-Rob don't have any value right now. So
no,
you can't.
J-Rob's value could improve tremendously though.
After this week.
Yeah.
Could.
Should I trade DeAndre Swift and Michael Pittman for DeAndre Hopkins? No.
No, I would keep that. I would keep Swift.
Keep the Swift Pittman side. Cody, yes, you did miss that, but you can scroll back. Just traded Ayuk for Kareem Hunt. Hopefully he gets traded soon. Yeah, I like that upside play.
Yep.
Would you trade or would you drop Curtis Samuel for George Pickens? No, I wouldn't. Would you?
Drop Curtis Samuel. No, I'd probably just stick with Samuel. I mean, Samuel is proving me right. I didn't believe in the talent of Samuel. And he's kind of proven that he's not a consistent fantasy asset.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think he's a streamable option. George Pickens still a rookie. Deontay's still going to be the target leader in that offense. You have to really trust Kenny Pickett at quarterback, and it's hard to do. It really is. Should
you start Geno Smith or Jared Goff?
Probably that's a Geno Smith.
It's a Geno Smith. Yep, agreed. Yep. 8-man PPR league running backs are JT. Who would JJ be?
Justin Jefferson.
Well, he's not a running back.
Oh,
am I blanking on something there? JT, Ken Walker, Swift. Wide receivers, CD, Olave, Pittman, Keenan. Should I trade Swift and Pitt for D-Hop?
What's the JJ running back?
I know Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs. He's just out of your mind.
Yeah, I hate him. I think this is the same question as before, but no, I would hang on to Swift and Pittman. I think DeAndre Hopkins had a really good return to the season, but let's face it, they lost Marquise Brown. They had Robbie Anderson inserted to the offense at a moment's notice. They played on a short week, and And DeAndre Hopkins went up against 2 backup corners. Like he had the stars aligned. He had the perfect situation. I want to see if he can continue to command that target share with Robbie Anderson a little bit more involved, with Rondell Moore a little bit more involved, with James Conner returning with a harder matchup. Like, can he still be elite?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yep. And thanks for everyone sticking around. You guys are awesome watching the show. Like the video on the way out, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to get to every single question. So if we haven't got to you yet, we will get there soon. Who should I trade for with wanting to deal? I'm gonna say that's Cup
and Allen.
Cup and Allen. D-Dog, I think you got to join the Discord, man, and give us more info.
Way too broad of a question, man.
Yeah. Need more info.
Yeah.
You know, league size, scoring settings, your roster.
And I don't know what Allen you're talking about either.
Yeah, is it Josh Allen? Is it Keenan Allen? We need a little bit more there, brother.
Yep.
What
should I do with Lenny?
Just continue starting him.
Yep, you do start him every week. I mean, if he has another bad week, we do a video on him, and then I'll let you know what to do with Lenny. But I think he's typically a trade for candidate right now.
Leonard Fournette had a really down game. I mean, a lot of the Bucks did, unless you're Evans and Godwin. But even so, like, none of them got into the end zone. Mike Evans dropped that wide open gift of a touchdown. Leonard Fournette, currently running back 8 on the year, averaging 14.4 fantasy points per game in a half PPR league. Like, Leonard Fournette's been great. He had one down game. I think you got to keep rolling him.
Are the Colts, Packers, and Bucks like the Spider-Man picture with like they're all looking at each other?
They're all pointing at each other?
Yeah.
Hey.
Got the old busted quarterback just looking like what? We're the same.
Let's not put Brady and Rodgers in the same camp as Matt Ryan, all right?
Pretty soon they'll both be benched.
Trey S says, is it worth it to drop AJ Dillon or Kyle Pitts to pick up Michael Carter in a full PPR?
Drop. Oh, Mac. Here's what it's come to.
I think you can drop AJ Dillon for Michael Carter if you want, but I do see them as very similar pieces. In terms of Kyle Pitts, like, I think we just gotta hold Kyle Pitts. Like, the problem is not Kyle Pitts. Let's be honest about this. The problem is Arthur Smith.
And passing the ball, what?
Like, guys, in a game where the Bengals were up 21-0 like that, Arthur Smith proceeds to continue to run the ball. They only ran 47 plays, which was a league low this week. 31 of those 47 plays were running plays.
Marriott had 8 completions.
8 completions, 13 attempts. Like, just abysmal. Terrible play calling, a terrible game plan, and you have 13 attempts. Like, 6 of them went to London or Pitts, but 13 attempts, not even completions, attempts is just not enough for an offense to support wide receivers or tight ends. So Kyle Pitts is not the issue. It is literally Arthur Smith.
I mean, but the
problem is they're winning. They're 3-4.
Things aren't going to necessarily change. So
they should,
because it's not the Arthur Smith problem doesn't mean Kyle Pitts is valuable.
No, Kyle Pitts is one of the most athletic and talented tight ends in the league. Check. His day is going to come. Something's going to have to change. You can't run 47 plays in a game you trail and only pass it 13 times. Marcus Mariota should have had license to throw it 35 times.
Drafting Kyle Pitts and Drake London in the top 10 in your draft and then deciding to run the ball like they are doesn't add up. AJ Dillon, Trey, is just a really good, valuable handcuff right now. Not startable, unfortunately. Michael Carter is like that shot in the dark. You think he's going to be potentially good. The Jets are winning. He's going to get a 50-50 split is what I'm thinking with James Robinson. Maybe 60-40 to start because he's still learning the playbook and it's going to be
this should be a Michael Carter week. This should be a Michael Carter week. It doesn't stay that way, though.
A start at a running back position this week, Carter should score more than AJ Dillon. That's just
for this week.
for this week. But
Michael,
go ahead.
hopefully carry on is hopefully how you say that. Should I trade Amon-Ra St. Brown or Mark Andrews for more running back depth? Divide and conquer. Got Josh Jacobs and DeAndre Swift. Wide receivers are CD, Olave, and Godwin. Also got Higbee at tight end.
Keep Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I don't think you have to get more depth. Like Swift's got to be back this week.
I sure hope so.
Give it a week. Give it a week, Michael, and see how it goes.
If you
I think
can
you're fine.
ship the guy that I would look at to move is Olave. He's been really good, but I still think if you can get a top tier running back, I would try and do that.
I would move CD before I'd move Olave.
All right.
Should I trade Cooper Kupp and George Kittle for Devontae Adams and Travis Etienne? No, I would keep, unless you're super running back needy, like you lost Breece Hall and Javonte Williams, and you need some help, or Cam Akers,
or for some reason you have Mark Andrews.
Yeah, but no.
Like, who's your other tight end? Is my question for me. Like, do you have a really good backup tight end that you're fine with?
You're likely just downgrading though.
So here we go. You have Kyler, Fournette, CMC, Lockett, Kupp, Kittle. Also has Tyler Higbee. So that would be the backup. Is Tyler Higbee.
And that's fine. I would just rather have Cooper Kupp, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Because you've got good running backs already with Fournette.
You don't need it, Travis Etienne.
All right.
1-6. Most points against my team is Mahomes, Kamara, Zeke, D-Hop, Pittman, Higbee, Christian Kirk, DJ, and Pollard on the bench. Where do I go?
Yeah, Luke had the question earlier.
Yeah. You got the elite quarterback. You've got the target leader in Tyler Higbee at the tight end position. You've got Kamara. The only place you could really, I think, get better is your running back. Like, I would love to see an upgrade for you with Zeke.
Sell Zeke off that big game. I mean, we've been trying to sell him for weeks now, but now I think you actually can. Now with Dak being back, the vibes are good in Dallas.
Zeke and a Christian Kirk for an upgrade would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, hey, look at Christian Kirk. He's the wide receiver 10 on the year.
Yeah.
Sell that.
Could you get a Walker plus?
I don't know.
Maybe just Walker.
Trade Eckler for JT and ETN. Yes, I would.
Yep.
I would send that. I'm 5-1. A guy in my league is 2-4. He's offering me Swift for Mostert and J-Rob. My other running backs are McCaffrey, Barkley, and Najee. It's a 2-flex league. Mostert has an easy schedule coming up. Do I do?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're already going to be deep enough though with McCaffrey, Barkley, and Najee. Like
Najee, you can start. Yeah, Najee you can start if you have to.
We're talking about a flex situation week in and week out because McCaffrey and Barkley, unless they're on bye, are going to be in your lineups.
Assuming Michael Carter is healthy, when are you going to ever feel comfortable starting J-Rob?
Well, you're not.
You're not.
And when you get to the fantasy playoffs, to have McCaffrey, Barkley, Najee, Swift as your two running backs, two flexes, that's going to feel really nice.
Yeah. Smash that.
Kamara for Amon-Ra and Khalil Herbert. Not enough.
Yeah, Khalil has been good, but I think it's Monty's still the number one. That offense. Khalil is just a really good backup right now.
Agreed. Should I sell high on Aaron Jones? My team is Carr, Aaron Jones, Walker, Diggs, Godwin, Myers, Mike Will, and Njoku. What are some running backs I can get for Aaron Jones? I would stay put on Aaron Jones, man.
If you're looking for running backs, you already got one.
Aaron Rodgers comes out and talks about this team needing to not make errors, needing to make sloppy plays, and he's giving a pass to guys like Alan Lazard and Aaron Jones. He omitted their names. That means those are guys that he trusts. And you look back to this game, Aaron Jones, involved in both facets of the game, had 2 receiving touchdowns. Like, if more receivers fall for this team, Aaron Jones is going to be lined up in the slot more and more and more. A.J. Dillon's going to have to be relied on. But you should keep Aaron Jones because he really is the sole piece of this offense.
Yeah, he's all they got, man. All they got.
And opportunity is king in fantasy football. So
yep.
Also had Breece Hall and Javonte for the above question.
Right.
stay with Aaron
That
Jones.
hurts. That hurts.
It really does hurt.
Your team would have been championship bound, my man. Sorry about that. Pour one out for Brandon Rizzo.
Dion 47 team is 4-3 in 6th place in a good spot. 12-man PPR. Quarterback is Rodgers and Cousins. Running back Swift, Kenneth Walker, Miles Sanders, J.K. Dobbins, Rashad White, and you've got Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle, Drake London, and Marvin Jones Jr. What moves should you make? I don't know that you want to roll with Rodgers any further. Cousins is okay. I feel like you could probably like drop Rodgers and pick up, a Daniel Jones, for example, or a Justin Fields, somebody from a fantasy perspective that's just going to get you more production.
Don't need both of them, yeah.
Other than that, man, I think you're in a really good spot. Like as soon as Swift comes back, your lineup's going to feel so much better.
Yeah. Throw Dobbins on IR if you have an IR spot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Wondering about trading Stevenson for Cooper. Approved. I would go get Cooper.
Sure.
A week ago, I traded Kareem Hunt and Taysom Hill for DeAndre Swift. Thoughts? That's a W.
Yep.
A W for Walker Mullins. Congrats.
Mm-hmm. You got it. Here we go. You are so welcome, everyone. You guys are making the stream. This is a crazy.
This is awesome. Yeah. Unexpected for a Tuesday night.
Yep.
Yeah. Would you trade Chubb, Myers for Hopkins and Godwin? Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Chubb. I mean, if you have the depth at running back to move Nick Chubb.
You're not getting Chubb, or you're not getting a running back in return, and that's the scary part. You're getting a huge replacement or upgrade over Jacoby Myers. So if this is a league where you have, one or two flexes, or you're starting 3 wide receivers in a flex and you can start Hopkins and Godwin every single week, that's a yes for me. If trading Nick Chubb leaves you, with like
really short.
with like Michael Carter and Darrell Henderson, like you just can't.
A Deonta Foreman kind of.
Yeah, we just can't do it.
Yeah. Now, and Jacoby, although he hasn't been great this year, like he's okay. He only had 2 targets last game.
Yeah.
So
1 for a touchdown.
1 for 1. He made a really good catch for touchdown.
Yeah, saving Bailey Zappi.
That could have been a Ramondre touchdown pretty easily.
Half PPR league. Would we trade Dameon Pierce, Brian Robinson Jr. for Christian McCaffrey? I don't even care who your other pieces are. The answer is yes.
Yep. I would. I would.
Bryce S. 10-man PPR league. Running backs for ETN, Swift, Hunt, and Jamal Williams. Wide receivers are Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith, Michael Thomas, Curtis Samuel. Should I trade for a better wide receiver too? If so, who should I package?
If you could move Michael Thomas and Curtis Samuel somehow, I mean, but out of the players to move, I think.
No, I like that. Michael Thomas, Curtis Samuel.
Yeah. For anyone, Keenan Allen. Try to get Keenan Allen owner right now.
If you have to move one of your running backs, you could go with Kareem Hunt, but I don't like having your third option also be a Detroit running back. Like having to, start Swift and flex Jamal Williams just feels like you're giving up potential there.
Yeah.
So Michael Thomas, Curtis Samuel, upgrade to somebody else, but Jefferson and Smith seem to be pretty locked and loaded.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, if I get Waddle or Gabe Davis, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I assume this is a follow-up comment.
Yeah, trading Lamb for Fournette. I still
Stevenson for Cooper. I think he was asking. Or was this Chris? Oh no, different guy. David.
Yeah, Dave Gorman. I would just keep Lamb.
Cool.
Love this channel. Love you, David. Thanks, man.
Appreciate you.
Should I trade Swift for Kamara?
So lateral.
Yeah. I would just stay where you're at. I know Swift has been disappointing, and if you want to pivot off him, I don't blame you.
Hey, if you're concerned with him being out this week and Kamara buys you a win,
yeah,
sure, go ahead.
Different story. Do I trade Deontay for Tyler Lockett?
So lateral as well.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a difference for me, to be honest.
Yeah, they're similar tier wide receivers. Deontay is the 1 with a worse quarterback. Tyler Lockett is the 2 with a better quarterback.
Full PPR 10-man league. Should I do Lamar, Dalvin Cook, and ETN for Geno Smith and Justin Jefferson? Woo. Wow.
I would keep Lamar, Dalvin, Etienne.
Yeah, it's a big price to pay for Justin Jefferson. Even though I think Dalvin Cook's outlook rest of season isn't as high as it used to be. ETN's a sky high, and Lamar Jackson, he's had a rough 4-week stretch, but I do think he turns it around. So I would stay put.
I'm trying to trade for Lamar right now if I can on the low.
Do I trade Brian Robinson and Alan Lazard for Tyler Lockett in a full PPR? Would give me Jefferson, Kirk, Lockett at wide receiver, and Saquon and Lenny at running back.
Lockett being the number one now with DK banged up. I don't hate it. I was not impressed with Brian Robinson.
I don't understand why they continue to feature him. Like every time Antonio Gibson touches the ball, he is far and away the better running back. Correct. I don't understand.
You don't need a timeshare back. Like Brian Robinson is a trade away candidate. You don't want him personally. No.
Kyler Fournette, CMC, Lockett, Kupp, Kittle, Michael Thomas, Tua, Swift, Higbee, Justin Tucker, Cordell Patterson. Thoughts on a move to make?
I think we talked about Marcus's question already.
Yeah. You don't need Kyler and Tua.
Correct. Send away Tua for something bigger.
Yeah, try to package
him with Higbee for
Michael Thomas or something. Like, yeah, make an upgrade.
Yep. And you don't need Kittle and Higbee either.
Man, we're really, really close. I'm looking for Mr. Crazy Man's question here. Oh, here it is. He said, looking to upgrade my team. Any ideas in a 10-man PPR? T-Law and Carr, CMC, Monty Chubb, Singletary, B-Rob, Devontae Smith, Mike Evans, Brandon Cooks, Chase Claypool, Goddard, Ingram. No, this is good for a 10-man league. Again, like you don't need to have T-Law and Carr. I would utilize the waiver wire to grab somebody else and just, stash someone. But I think you're okay for right now, to be honest with you.
Put Monty together with Claypool and see what you can do.
Yeah. I mean, Goddard's a really good option at tight end. So you could do worse than Trevor Lawrence and Derek Carr this year, like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers, Miles Sanders, or Gus Edwards as a flex in a PPR league this week. Oh, it looks like I might have lost Landon. It's okay. I will I'll just change up here we go. I'll just finish up the stream myself. Oh, he's back.
Sorry about that.
There you go. I was like, really? where did my guy go?
Don't know what happened.
There we go. I was ready to just switch up and finish things off myself. I would go Miles Sanders this week. Coming back off bye, probably re-energize. Let's plug in Miles Sanders.
Yeah. Gus Edwards is close second.
Thinking about offering someone Michael Thomas for Aaron Jones straight up. I don't think that goes through, but if you can get it done, I would get it done.
Sure, of course, RJ, if you can get it done.
Heck yeah. Sorry, Matthew, if we skipped your questions. Skip my questions. I have Kelsey on a bye and Gus in my, I'm going to say flex. I'm going to go back and look for Matthew's question if you want to change to the next one here.
Yeah, sure. I need to find where. Okay, here. So I have Hurts, Evans, Kirk, Duvernay, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Olave, Knox, Schultz, Kareem Hunt, Edwards-Helaire, Chuba Hubbard, Patterson. Who can I trade for a solid RB1? Very broad question. You got to find a guy that has an abundance of running backs to trade away that needs some of your players. So the guys I'd be looking to trade away: Kirk, and I mean, Donovan Peoples-Jones doesn't have much value. Neither does Duvernay. You can try to go Kirk and Helaire to try to get a solid running back, but to get a solid running back one, you're probably going to have to give up more. you could look at Olave and Kirk, but the thing is, there's so many good, solid wide receivers that very few people are trying to trade away a stud running back one for 2 wide receivers. So you're gonna have to give away more than that. So, tough. Find a trade partner first and see if they're interested in Hilaire, maybe Chuba Hubbard, and then see what they're willing to give away if you're trying to get a solid running back one. But yeah, for now it's tough to answer at a super broad question.
I now see why we skipped over Matt's question, because it was sort of pieced together in mix of everybody else's. But he's asking if he should trade Gus for Pittman.
Okay.
Also, who should he drop to pick up a tight end? He's got Brian Robinson, Wan'Dale Robinson, or Rachaad White. I would hang on to Philly D.
Yep.
They've been solid, and if you're playing with defenses, they've been a difference maker. I'm okay to drop Rachaad White. I know the appeal on him is high, but like Leonard Fournette is just dominating that work. So I would drop Rachaad White. The second part of his question, he's got Eckler, Mixon, Kenneth Walker, Mostert, Debo, Diggs, Sutton, Amon-Ra, and Kelsey. So he's got Kelsey on bye this week.
Right.
And then he also needs to drop someone to move Gus out of the IR. So Brian Robinson would be the next guy that I would drop. But if you're...
So try to make a move. Try to do a 2-for-1 if you can, Matthew.
Yeah, 2-for-1 would open things up, but waivers are going to run in the morning or even at midnight for some people.
So just hang tight at the... he needs to add a tight end, right? Is that right?
He needs to add a tight end. He needs to potentially drop 2 to get Gus in the lineup and make room for an incoming tight end. When I look at this team, though, Eckler, Mixon, Walker, Mostert, do we need Brian Robinson and who's the other one? And Rachaad White?
No, you don't.
Rachaad White, Wan'Dale Robinson, I'm okay dropping any of them. Honestly, I think it's your choice, but Rachaad White you can definitely drop in this format.
You could drop him for sure, and you could just hang tight at tight end for a while and just wait and pick up an Irv Smith on Sunday morning or Evan Engram or Cole Kmet or Greg Dulcich. Just hang, you can just wait to add someone and just try to, it buy you a few more days to try to maneuver a 2-for-1 trade. So you don't have to trade Brian Robinson and a piece. So you don't have to drop Brian Robinson.
Right.
Because he still has value. People will pick him up. But yeah, out of anyone, you drop Rachaad White. He's a very valuable handcuff. But if Lenny doesn't go down, then he's just a roster clogger.
Yeah, it's a tough question. If you guys use Discord, we do have a Discord.
Really good group of community members. Mac and I aren't always on there, but we have a lot of great guys answering questions.
And we have almost 200 members, so it's not like you're joining a small group. We've got a lot of people in there, so feel free to join if you want to link that in the comments there, Lando. So these guys can get the link. DK Metcalf out a while. Yeah, he's been ruled out for week 8 already. I'm going to assume he's going to be a week-to-week thing. I think it'll probably be 2 to 3 weeks. Ian says, I've got CMC, Swift, and Hendo. Cooks and Thomas are my wide receivers. I can trade Swift for Waddle or Hopkins. Do I take it? 12-man PPR. 2 wide receiver, 1 flex. No, you can't trade Swift. Oh man, Cooks and Thomas as wide receivers though. It's tough, dude. Waddle a little bit banged up. Hopkins, I don't know if I'm completely buying it yet.
Isn't really hurt anymore. He looked great.
He's just not keeping up with Tyreek anymore, though, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I would probably wait that one out, Ian. I would give Swift one more go this week, and then if he lets you down again, I don't blame you. But I'm going to hold out on Swift.
Yeah, I hope he's in. Hope he plays. But people will be trying to buy Swift for a long time, so.
12-man league. Herbert, Walker, Swift, ETN, Cook. Diggs, Cooper, Thomas, Dubs. Should I trade for a better wide receiver too? If so, who? Those teams that are hanging on to Michael Thomas right now are really struggling.
Yeah, they're hurting. Absolutely, they are.
But you got a really good core of running backs in Walker, Swift, Etienne, and Cook. You could probably part with, like, let's say Dalvin Cook and somebody and go upgrade the wide receiver position if you wanted to. Like, I think Walker, Swift, Etienne is a good enough trio. And on a weekly basis, assuming you don't have two flexes, you can't start them all anyways. So your potential is limited. And I think someone who gets the largest price tag is going to be Dalvin Cook because of name value. So
yeah, and you could probably get a Devontae Adams for Dalvin. So
like a Cook and a Romeo Dubs for Devontae or something like that.
Sure, as a throw-in piece.
Yeah. What's the value of CMC? Is he worth trading high or holding? 2 and 6, but have a good roster. Hold.
Yep, a lot can happen.
Yep. Rate the trade. I traded Swift, Jamal Williams, Tyler Lockett 4, Najee, Waddle, and Jalen Warren. Have 2 at QB and Cup at wide receiver 1. I'm not trying to acquire Najee right now, so I would not prefer this trade, Terry, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, and had you got another piece other than Jalen Warren, I would have maybe preferred that side as you diversified. You'd take 2 running backs from the same team and turn them into one, but you just got a worse backfield in Najee and Jalen Warren.
He traded two Lions
for 2 Steelers.
And yeah, you did upgrade at the wide receiver position with Jalen Waddle.
You downgraded heavily though to Najee, sadly, which is crazy to say, but
yeah.
10-man PPR had Javonte and Brees. So many guys with the Javonte Brees combo.
Yep.
Have Hurts, Swift, Etienne, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Smith, Mark Andrews, Curtis Samuel. How can I improve this team? Keep playing your guys.
You have a great team.
Silly. Yeah.
Despite losing those guys, you still have a great team. Again, you're trying to ship out Curtis Samuel. He just doesn't have that much value right now.
And sometimes you have to stay like patient during bye weeks, like last week you had Devontae Smith and Justin Jefferson on bye. Like those are 2 big pieces, but now you've got those guys done their bye. You've got DeAndre Swift done his bye. This team is going to have some staples back in, and you don't have to worry about them again. So Bryce, just ride it out, man. I know it sounds like cliche and simple advice, but sometimes that's all we need to hear is like, I can just ride this out.
Yep. Cody, you're very welcome.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. That's what it's all about here. We're a smaller fantasy football show, but we really do appreciate the community and like if you guys weren't here, we wouldn't have a show. So that's what it's all about.
We would have been done about 47 minutes ago.
Ertz at Minnesota or Hawkinson versus Miami. I'm going Ertz.
Yeah, I'll stay Ertz as well.
Hawkinson just has the ability to disappear,
Ertz does not. Ertz won't bust you.
No. Thoughts on Boyd and Wandell?
I think Boyd's a bit of a mirage. I think Wandell has a ton of potential, should be the wide receiver 1 in New York. Whatever that's worth is still kind of TBD. I can't expect that Joe Burrow throws for 500 yards a game. If he does, Boyd's a wide receiver.
He did 3 times last year. So this is not outside of his range.
Yeah. No, you're right. It just feels like it's...
I know.
Having the wide receiver 3 ain't good.
Is it time to drop Pitts and Hunter Renfrow? Hunter Renfrow, yes. Kyle Pitts, no. Just hold him. His time in the sun is coming.
Or trade him.
Get him off. Would you trade AJ Brown for Khalil Herbert and Christian Kirk? I would
AJ
not.
Brown, Cam. Keep AJ Brown.
Would.
That's a classic thing where you forget how good AJ Brown was. I talked about this earlier, Cam. Like coming off a bye week, feels like so long ago that AJ Brown was elite. He's still elite.
Dameon Pierce for Kirk and Zeke. This one's tough. Like, if you need some depth and you've lost some pieces, like, DK Metcalf, Mike Williams, Brees, Javonte, Cam Akers. Like, I understand trading 2 for 1 and patching some holes. In a
Getting
vacuum, I
depth
prefer
matters.
the Pierce side, I think.
Yep. But I getting depth is valuable. We've seen the injuries are abundant this year, guys, and sometimes having extra pieces helps.
Is stashing Jameson Williams smart? I know he's on IR, but we don't know if he'll play. I do believe that he is, from what's been reported out of Detroit, is that he's going to play this year. We just don't know when. As long as you can keep him on your IR, stash him.
Yep. I agree, Bryce.
Unfortunately, you're probably not going to roll him out until, let's face it, like the fantasy playoffs.
Yeah, even if he starts, he stash him for now.
Yeah.
Just keep holding out.
I would just hold him and see how it plays out, man. There's no if you have an IR spots, just hold them.
Yeah.
Trade Evans and Swift for Justin Jefferson. It's crazy to say, but no.
Yeah, Juan. I would just Jefferson is elite. He is the best player in this deal, but you're giving out 2 really, really good options. So it's not like you're gaining a position. Even if Swift is out this week, it's not like you are gaining a running back in return.
Right.
So Evans and Jefferson are, yes, Jefferson's better than Mike Evans, but they're close enough that you just keep the Swift side.
Got a trade request. Cup, George Kittle, Cordero Patterson for Kelsey and Gabe Davis. Let's just take Cordero out of it. Cup and Kittle for Kelsey and Davis. I'm going to keep the Cup Kittle side.
Yep, I'd take the Cup Kittle side as well. Yeah, Cordero has no value to me.
No.
Sorry.
Should I pick up Tyler Algier from waivers this week? No, you should not.
If you don't have a running back start and he is a start, go ahead. But
I would rather have Deonta Foreman, Gus Edwards, Chuba Hubbard, Michael Carter over Tyler Algier.
There you go.
Yeah. Best trade options for Debo. Again, guys, way too broad of a question. I don't know what you need. I don't know if you need running backs, tight ends, quarterbacks. If you need, to take Debo and turn him into 2 wide receivers, like Esco is a great question. I just need more details.
Yep.
Yes. I would trade Gus for Pittman. Yep.
Sure. Yep.
RJ.
All right.
Should I trade for a running back or should I just stay put? Running backs currently Swift, Barkley, Gordon, Wilson. I understand why you would want to.
Yeah. Your
just
wide
don't
receivers are
know.
elite. I just don't know what you can get. Trade away Michael Thomas and Melvin if you can and get a running back, but it just depends on their values. Running backs hard to acquire right now. They're really
I think this is
difficult
the
to acquire.
perfect scenario where trading away Kyle Pitts, if you can get somebody to bite on him,
sure.
Trading away like Kyle Pitts and Michael Thomas and upgrading at running back would be awesome.
Sure. Get
but you need you need somebody who's, got no tight end and has an abundance of running back.
Njoku owner who just lost him.
Sure.
Go to him.
Kelsey on bye. Gerald Everett owner on bye. But yes, that's the one spot you could upgrade. But the Brown, Jefferson, Higgins trio is fantastic. Kamara for Kenneth Walker, or am I pushing it? I have Kamara, half PPR, lateral.
It's still too lateral, Gary. It doesn't really matter. They're Kenneth Walker's great, but Kamara has a chance to be great too. It's just you're trading good running backs for good running backs.
TD says, would you trade Justin Jefferson for DeAndre Swift and Devontae Smith? Again, if you need running back, the answer is probably yes. But
you need to be in a good place and as a record, you need to be winning to afford to give away an elite blue chip wide receiver to have a Swift that may not play this week.
Now, roles reversed. If you are a team that is 2-5,
yeah,
and you have Justin Jefferson, and you could benefit from having more depth, more startable pieces, then yes, I like doing the 2-for-1 to try to save your season. But I think I'd rather have Justin Jefferson if you're winning.
Yeah.
Do we think Amon-Ra is going to get his life together? Yeah, I think he'll be all right.
He'll be all right.
At the time of the Swift and Crew trade for Najee and Crew, my other running backs were Brees, Mixon, Carter, Khalil Herbert, Hunt. I wanted an upgrade at wide receiver too.
All right. It's all good, Terry.
Hey, man.
I mean, Matt, you're talking to a DeAndre Swift truther. You saw the thumbnail.
Guilty.
Mac has him in 90% of his leagues, and we believe the talent. Najee, his talent is good. The team and the way they use him, he's not getting the targets, is just bad in Pittsburgh.
Well, you guys didn't know this, but this was an hour 45-minute DeAndre Swift truther intervention.
And he's going to come on the show. Guys, stay tuned. He's coming on. But, yeah, it's all right. I mean, maybe DeAndre Swift never comes back.
Yeah. He does. He's fine. Don't put that out there. That's crazy. Let's see. Herbert, check. Everett, decent. Wide receivers, Chase, Lamb, Evans, Thielen, Dotson, good. Mixon, Jacobs, Patterson, B-Rob, anything I should do. I mean, we could add one more running back to the pot here. How you would go about doing it, I don't know, Dominic, but go ahead and join the Discord and we can give you some more targeted advice there. The link Landon's put here in the chat, so feel free to go ahead and join.
Guys, I move Thielen, B-Rob, Patterson. Your bench players.
I'm 2-5 without Brees. My team is Kyler, J-Rob, Algier, Khalil Herbert, Waddle, Hopkins, Gabe Davis, Brandon Cooks. You do need running back.
Ravi, just pack it in this year, man.
Whoa. That is timeout. It's a little harsh, man.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. He's thinking of trading Waddle for Ramondre. Do you like that deal, Mac?
No.
Yeah, you'd rather keep Waddle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Ramondre, we saw Damien Harris didn't get used much. He will get used more going forward. Mm-hmm. So maybe you can get you need pieces there. So a 1-for-1 doesn't really fix anything for you. You got to add another piece. You got to add a Ramondre and a Tyler Lockett or something. Like you need to just add another piece, like Christian Kirk or something, and that will at least help you out because you're banged up there, Ravi.
Yeah. Do we think Michael Thomas will come back and do any good?
We're just concerned about Thomas, man. Like he had so many targets and touchdowns when he played, but I mean, he hasn't proven to us that he can stay healthy. So if he's coming back, that's the question I have.
Yeah, like he's averaging 7 targets a game, so that's decent. Mm-hmm. His biggest bright spot is his red zone share, 21.4% of the red zone targets for this team when playing. But like his air yard share is really, really small.
And Olave's the real deal. Like he has built up now chemistry.
Yep.
With their offense coordinator, they're scheming plays for him, so they don't need Thomas doesn't need to come back. He's getting paid, like I said, on the sideline.
Well, the other thing too is like his average depth of target has always been really shallow. He's been a big volume play, and like with Drew Brees setting records for receptions, we're not seeing that with Andy Dalton, Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, whoever is going to play quarterback there, right? Like,
yeah,
Michael Thomas needs to be hyper efficient for him to be good for you, and he's doing you no good right now, injured. It just seems like he's just nagging, like he's always just naggingly injured.
Yeah.
If you guys are new to the stream, go ahead and slap a like as we're nearing hour 2.
Yeah,
of this
we're trying to
intended 45-minute live stream. But you guys are great. Appreciate that so much.
Toss a like on the way. Let's get up to 50 likes before we're out of here. We do appreciate everyone coming in, though.
Are we also worried that Mark Andrews won't play due to a knee injury?
Slight concern, but not that worried.
I'm not worried.
Yeah.
So he didn't practice today. Wednesday is usually a veteran day. But I believe they play. Do they play Thursday?
Yes.
So tomorrow's the telling sign, because typically the way that it rolls out is that Wednesday you have your Veterans Day, and then Thursday and Friday are your big days for them to have a full practice and get off the injury report. If Mark Andrews does not practice tomorrow, I would say he doesn't play. If he's a full participant or limited participant, I think he's got a decent chance of playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow's a telltale sign.
The thing is, the problem is you have to start him no matter what if he's active. That's the
for sure you do
about it.
Yeah. Was send a trade of Zeke Elliott and Keenan Allen for Jacoby Myers and Aaron Jones. I already have Mike Williams, so my other running backs are Taylor, Mostert, Damian Harris.
What side?
I like the Elliott Allen side there. I don't know which one you're getting level up, but I would go with the Elliott Allen side.
And that says a lot because we're not Zeke fans here. But I think long term, I think Allen is a good trade for target, especially with Mike Williams being a little bit banged up, has a high ankle sprain. He's going to miss weeks potentially. And yes, Aaron Jones is great, is getting using that offense, but Jacoby Myers doesn't hold much value to me. So yeah, I get the 2 startable assets versus the 1.
I just traded Drake London and Damian Harris for Swift on Sunday before the games. Then today traded Schultz and ETM for Lamb and Hurst.
Lots of trades. I love your first one.
First one is a win. Second one, I don't love trading Travis Etienne.
No.
And not getting a running back in return. But I mean, you've got Swift. So let's just see. He picked up Swift, Etienne, and Hurst. You could probably do better at the tight end position, but it is what it is.
I'm not targeting Hurst right now.
Pick up Jahan Dotson, McCole Hardman, or Marquise Goodwin in a full PPR.
I would pick up. So Jahan Dotson, I don't think he's going to play again, or not. Maybe not this week.
It's more of a longer term thing. The question here is: do you chase the big game from McCole Hardman
or Goodwin? If I were Hardman's on bye, so all these players are just stashes right now because Hardman's on bye.
I would rather have Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, pick up the rookie.
Yeah, the problem with McCole Hardman or Marquez Valdes-Scantling or Juju Smith-Schuster is you just don't know who it's going to be. There's no consistency there.
Yeah.
McCole Hardman is the least likely of the 3 guys for me to roster simply due to the fact that his highest target count on the year is 6 in a game. His highest yardage output is 73. Like Juju Smith-Schuster and Marquez Valdes-Scantling have had bigger plays several times. McCole Hardman has just not had the big play. So I'm not going to chase the big game.
The one game that Jahan Dotson had 8 targets, he only had 2 receptions. Now there is a different quarterback at play now. So hopefully Heineke can be better. But I do think that at least Jahan Dotson does hold more value because he's the exciting rookie. He has already scored 4 touchdowns on the season. And if he has a big pop game, then his value is higher because no one's believing in Marquise Goodwin long term. And same with Hardman, really. Like we know that it's a roulette wheel for Chiefs. So if you're looking at just pure value, if you're looking to trade one in 3 weeks, if they play in a couple, Jahan Dotson is the guy that's going to be the highest value player.
Is there ever going to be a solid running back one for the Broncos? Yeah, he wears number 33. His name is Javonte Williams. He played at North Carolina, and he's out this year with a torn ACL. Yep.
If they trade, I mean, it could be Latavius Murray. I don't know.
No, stop. It's not Melvin Gordon. Melvin, how do you feel about your chances this week as the starter? I was the starter last week.
Yep.
Who do I
Yep.
trade Najee and Ertz for?
So look for someone that needs a tight end number one. So go to Njoku owner, go to the Travis Kelce owner, go to the Gerald Everett owner, and then see what they have and try to get their best player.
You get an upgrade at running back.
Yep.
Najee is just so disappointing. That
Yep.
the offensive line is terrible. He's not getting the checkdowns, which is a huge loss to his volume. Just get rid of Najee.
Yep. So I gave you the targets. Now you got to work the rest.
Just got Chris Godwin, traded Gus Edwards today. Way to go, Ben. Let's go.
Love it.
Love that. Anybody getting DeAndre Swift on their team is a winner in my books. Swift, Diggs, Ayuk for Burrow, Gus, Debo, Gabe Davis. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna keep the Swift, Diggs, Ayuk side.
What's your quarterback? I like Burrow has been on fire, man, but I typically don't like to trade for quarterbacks.
I'm not. Gus Edwards is fine, but like Diggs at the wide receiver 1. Ayuk's been playing well. Swift, I like I said, I believe he's a league winner. I think he comes back and dominates.
Yeah.
Debo and Gabe Davis, awesome. Debo's got that hamstring injury. We know how him and injuries have gone in the past. I don't know who your quarterback is currently, but Swift down to Gus is, I think, a downgrade. I'm gonna hang tight. I'm gonna hang tight on this one.
Yeah, hang tight with Swift side.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read through this one here. Basically looking for
get Goddard off waivers. That's great. Even in an 8-team league, great, awesome.
Yeah, agreed. Currently sitting 4-3. Any holes in the roster? Running backs are solid. I think you've got some good depth. You got some guys that you can play: Mostert, Gus, Foreman, David Montgomery.
I wouldn't say there's a hole in the roster, really.
I mean, it's
you
just
could get an elite wide receiver.
Yeah, it's not as elite as you would want for an 8-man league. It's very deep, but you're probably just wanting to do some 2-for-1s, to be honest with you, to upgrade. So if your league mates come running to you for Travis Kelce this week, I mean, don't trade him. You need Jalen Hurts and Travis Kelce to win an 8-man league. You need those pieces.
Yep. And you also have a lot of running backs, so you should be able to trade away some depth. Mostert has been good. Gus had the big game. We've seen lots of people. There's a lot for Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
Foreman had a good game. D-Mod got in the end zone.
Yep.
You could trade some of that depth for people that have lost their running backs, and that's what I would try and do.
I'm honestly going to try to upgrade Amon-Ra St. Brown or CeeDee Lamb, like do a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and you have Stevenson too. Yeah, you need an upgrade at wide receiver. Try to get Devontae Adams, Diggs. Who else do you want? Elite wide receivers for someone that lost running backs.
Yep. All right, we're just gonna have to double time here. I'm falling asleep.
We gotta go to bed.
I gotta go to bed, man. We expected to be on for 45 minutes and it's turned into 2 hours. Appreciate you guys though. This has been awesome. A great stream.
No more questions, Tuesday, guys.
No more questions. Tuesday needs to be the new night, Lando.
Yeah, maybe it does.
Matthias here just traded ETN and Olave for Devontae Adams. Already have Chubb and Swift at running back. I think you traded a lot for him, but I don't mind the upgrade. It's a lot. Max 2-5 with Lamar, Barkley, Harris, Debo, AJ Brown, Ertz, St. Brown, and Godwin. MT on the bench, third most points scored. What do I do? Max, your team is scoring. You've got the positional advantages in Lamar and Zach Ertz, Lamar and Ertz, both top 5 options at their position. Najee Harris has been a bit of a letdown unless it's Damian Harris. But you've got all the pieces, dude, and you've got all the points. Ride it out. I wouldn't do anything rash at this point.
Yep, I agree. M. Hay coming in. M. Hay's been talking in all of our YouTube comments. What's Dame Harris' value rest of season? Do you think he'll get able to get back double digits carries earlier in the season? I don't think he does. I think it's Ramondre's backfield to 60-40 split. Doesn't have much value right now, unless if he gets in the end zone, then you can try to move him. We got to wait for that. I wouldn't drop him, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm. This is a good question from Graham. How much fab are we thinking for Michael Carter? Lost Breece Hall, got 65 out of 100 remaining. Graham, I think a lot of people are going to spend more than they probably should on Michael Carter. I think them going out and getting James Robinson tells you all you need to know about how they feel about Michael Carter leading a backfield. He's a really good complementary piece. He plays a role, but he's not a 3-down back. And I think if you spent more than $20, you would be overpaying. And I don't think that gets him. But Michael Carter's been very mediocre on a per game basis. So
and their
I'm not
schedule's
overreacting.
Really tough. Like I did a video on him when I didn't know that they traded for James Robinson, and it's really hard. So if you want a 50-50 back with a gauntlet of a schedule, that's what you got to weigh. So yeah, I agree. About $20, $25. Do your best, and then if you don't get him, you got to scrounge for a starting running back. You're grabbing a James Cook, or you're grabbing a fringe level guy, or someone that gets dropped this week. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Chase Edmonds, like it's a Kenneth Gainwell. That's who you're picking up.
Should I trade Swift for Debo? Got good wide receivers and not so great. Or sorry, got good running backs, not so good wide receivers. Sure. You could do that. That's fine.
Yep. Team dependent. If you just like you said, don't need to elaborate.
Terry, like I think there's a lot that we could do to fix the schedule.
Hey, Snap Army, let's do it. Let's protest. We got numbers.
Down.
We saw it tonight. We got numbers, guys.
We got numbers now. It's crazy. Devontae Adams for Derrick Henry. I have Diggs and CD and Juju for wide receivers.
Full PPR, half PPR, full PPR. I would keep
full PPR. I'm keeping Devontae Adams. Standard, obviously, I'll take Henry.
Yeah.
Half PPR. I think the Diggs, Adams, CD trio is going to be very competitive.
Very hard to stop.
Yeah. Guys, we love the questions. We could be here all night. Like I said, we intended to be on for 45 minutes. We're now 2 hours. So Lando and I are shot. But if you guys are new to the stream, you just found us, we will be going live. Our tradition is every Sunday, 90 minutes before kickoff. We answer every single question, much like we tried to do tonight. We got everybody but the last couple here that came in. So feel free to drop by, sub to the channel, and keep your eyes out for more videos. We appreciate you guys. This stream was awesome tonight, and good luck on waivers tomorrow. Leave us some comments if you have some questions, and we'll try to get back to you there over the coming days. But we're gonna call it here. So,
yep.
Thoughts on Van Jefferson? Landon says
all
worth
these,
an ad.
all these. Rocco gave us a super chat today, so I figured, Van Jefferson, he's worth an ad. I think he's speculative.
Yeah.
Coming off injury. But yeah, guys, jump in the Discord, ask your questions there. We have a great community talking about it. Maybe Mac and I will get there. But yeah, we got to sign out. We do appreciate y'all. Like on the way out, share the show, join our community. Like Mac said, join us on Sunday. We very much appreciate you.
Have a great week. Good luck on Thursday. Good luck on waivers. And hopefully we see a lot of you on Sunday.